all is from Allah, that means all is from Allah. There's nothing that has any independent existence, anything that brought itself into existence. Everything came from Allah. Alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. We're gonna start. I did send out an invitation for the Zoom invite to those who have the Zoom. I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to share. But inshallah, at the end of this presentation, if you want it, I can make it available to you. Inshallah. So we're gonna start. We're gonna do some thought experiment. We're gonna do a thought experiment, even though thought cannot operate in this realm. Thought falls short when we're talking about operating in this realm. We have look at a picture that has three circles. A circle that's inside, an internal circle, and we have another bigger circle that surrounds that circle, and then we have a bigger circle that surrounds that, and that bigger circle encompasses everything. So we can look at the external world that we exist in, the external world, the material world. When you knock on wood, the wood make a sound. That's the material world. That's the external, the so-called external material world of matter. The so-called external material world of matter. Let's say that external material world of matter exists in the inside circle. It's the first circle inside that's contained by the two bigger circles. Okay, we're doing a thought experiment now. Then the next circle consists of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. That's the internal world. The internal world, your internal world consists of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. Okay, keep it in mind that you have three circles. And the last big circle, it encompasses everything. Okay. Now the third circle, just to do this thought experiment, even though thought cannot encompass it. The third circle, the biggest circle, is consciousness, awareness, and ultimate reality. Okay. Now, I'm gonna read something that just keep an open mind, because a lot of times you may not have heard this before. Whatever is caused by natural causes is really caused by Allah. The Quran, while affirming the causal relation between a cause and its effect, ascribes every effect to Allah. So, though He addressed us, meaning Allah addressed us in our abstract identity, our soul, He is addressing us to have us accept responsibility of dressing and clothing the soul, and also clothing or dressing the environment. So it is not the material producing the soul. So it's not the material producing the soul. It is the soul producing the material. But if you are not guided by Allah, the Creator, the Maker, who made all things, us and the things we use, you will fall under the influence of the growth of material things, the presence of material things, or the influence of material things. And you will become physical firstly instead of spiritual firstly. Or instead of a spiritual person, you become a material person. That's Imam Muhammad. The spirit is not material. Allah is not material. This is still Imam Muhammad. And he needs nothing of the material. But he is the influence behind everything. He made the skies and the earth, the semi-wet wal ardi. And when we look at the beauty, we see the reflection of what is in Allah. So remember those circles now. We need the material to express the material. We need the material to express the spiritual. The spirit needs the material for its expression. We hear voices, we see images, and if Allah had not created the instrument we call the human body, you would not hear or see anything. So there is importance for the material. It is absolutely necessary. But the more valuable is the abstract, the spiritual. That's Imam W.D. Muhammad. This is Rumi. I use this all the time, but it goes to the point. Sufi mystic of Islam said, experience shows. So we trying to identify our core life. We're trying to identify what the core life of the whole universe is. Rumi said, experience shows that the spirit is nothing but awareness or consciousness. Whoever has greater awareness has greater spirit. When the spirit becomes greater and passes beyond all bounds, the spirit of all things become obedient to it. So let's look at a couple of definitions, or a couple of attributes of Allah. Allah is Al-Kabir. Allah is Al-Kabir. The all-aware. Allah is El-Basir, the all-seeing. Allah is Al-Raqib, the watchful. So these are some attributes of Allah. These are some things that are attributed to Allah. Okay? So now that's why this backs up the statement from Rumi. He said the spirit is nothing but awareness or consciousness. So you know, we take consciousness for granted. We take consciousness for granted. The Holy Quran says in Surah 2, Ayat 34, and remember when we said to the angels, prostrate yourselves before Adam, and they prostrated except Iblis. He refused and was proud and was creating our experience. The brain translates the pictures in our mind and manifests our reality. This is a fact. You're not seeing me outside of you. You see me inside your head. I'm not outside. What you see is the photons of light going from your eyes, bouncing off this so-called object that is me, and going back in your head. And the picture is in your head. You think it's outside of you, but it's in your head. The blood provides information to the cells. This is the doctor's point of view here. The blood provides information to your cells. The chemistry of the blood is a complement to the picture in your brain. If you have a positive picture, you create positive chemistry. If you have negative pictures, you create negative chemistry. Talk to doctors about this. Emotions create chemical reactions in your body, in your blood. That's a fact. The picture in the mind ultimately is the information translated by the cells into genetics and behavior. This is some deep stuff. And it ain't coming from me. I'm just relating what I'm reading from the scientists. Consciousness and quantum physics. The consciousness, and remember we talked about Allah is the consciousness. Allah's ruh is associated with consciousness. The consciousness that you are using now to interact with me in this video, in this audio. That's Allah's spirit, ruh, that he gave you. The consciousness which is generating these pictures is the primary element responsible for the character of our lives. In Newtonian physics, however, the world is separated into two things, matter and energy, which separates consciousness from body and science. Apparent, manifest, plain, or evident after having been concealed, and the unapparent, He used apparent and unapparent. Unapparent is bad to that, which means hidden, concealed, internal, or inward part of a thing. He who is hidden from public view, and he is the all-knower of everything. So really, it is saying that Allah is the manifest and the hidden. Simple as that. And the words bear out that fact. Allah is the manifest and the hidden. And when, you know, when we first came into the region, Allah does not manifest in material creation. And that's true. The creation is manifested from Allah's spirit, or will, or consciousness. And it's in Allah. So I think I might need to stay on that point a little longer. But anyway, this is W.D. Muhammad. The focus is on human life, man in the universe, human mind in the universe. This is what we mean by man. Man, if you look it up in the dictionary, is plural. It means male and female, not just male. When we say man in the focus that we have, religion, Allah's revelation, we're talking about the plural body that is male and female. Mind and the universe were made for each other. You become what you think about. Thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. How you think and how you feel creates your state of being. To change your state of all the time. And this is Surah 13, ayat 11. We always use this. For him, as in each one, are successive angels before and behind him, who guard him by the command of Allah. Indeed, Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. And when Allah wills misfortune for a people, then there is no turning away from it. And they do not have any protector besides Allah. We're going to get into some deep stuff right here. This is what Jesus said. When you make the two into one, this is how they asked him, how can you get to the heaven, to the kingdom? He said, when you come to one, and when you make the inner like the outer, and when you make the outer like the inner, and the upper like the lower, and when you make the male and the female into a single one, so that the male would not be male nor the female be female, you will enter the kingdom. And it's not talking about homosexuality. Get that out your mind. And when you make the outer like